Good evening, everybody! Jason here from Calgary, Alberta, Canada, streaming on Treaty 7 land, home of the Blackfoot Confederacy, the Tsuu Nation, and the Stoney Nakoda Nation, along with the Métis Nation of Alberta Region 3. Welcome to Day 10 of 100 Days of Gaming, Raid the Arcade! 100 Days of Gaming is part of Extra Life, the 24-hour gaming marathon that's part of the Children's Miracle Network. If you want to play games that heal kids, go to www.extra-life.org. There you can sign up for free and start collecting pledges from your friends, family, and coworkers. It all goes towards your local children's hospital, and then you get to play games for 24 hours on November 6th. I'm playing games to help raise money for the Alberta Children's Hospital right here in Calgary that helps over 100,000 sick and injured children each year. I've been part of Extra Life for 9 years now, and it's a great way to have a lot of fun by doing a lot of good, and you can donate in the links below. In August, Extra Life also celebrates tabletop gaming with Tabletop Appreciation Weekend, August 21st to 22nd. Get ready for Game Day November by playing tabletop games this month and get your fundraising going. Because anyone who raises $150 in August will get a full set of these Extra Life dice from our friends at Heartbeat Dice. And the box even lights up, so get in those donations now and help set a new fundraising record. Last year in 2020, over 43,000 participants in 113 countries helped over 10 million kids at 170 local Children's Miracle Network hospitals across Canada and the United States by raising over $17.4 million. And those numbers just keep getting bigger and better every year because gamers are changing kids' health and changing the future. But we need your help. So, if you'd like to know more about Extra Life or if you'd like to sign up yourself, go to www.extra-life.org. Or if you'd like to help me in my fundraising efforts for the Alberta Children's Hospital, you can do so in the links below. Okay, so tonight, for day 10 of 100 Days of Gaming, Raid the Arcade, tonight I'm actually putting aside the retro stuff aside, and I'm actually doing a new game tonight. That's right, tonight, because I'm a big fan of the series, I will be playing for you the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles on Nintendo Switch. Yeah, my copy actually arrived a little while ago, but this is the first time I've actually cracked it open, so I'm a big fan of the series. In fact, I just dropped on my Twitter a little while ago a picture of me cosplaying for the first time ever as Phoenix Wright at PAX West 2 years ago, and me getting caught at the Extra Life booth. So let's fire up Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Okay, I'm actually going in cold this time, so I really don't know what to expect. Let's see. Okay, I do know that there's 2 games in the series. They're linked, but let's start at the very beginning with the very first case.
The Empire of Japan. After opening its doors, a push for cultural transformation brought great waves of Western influence to this far eastern island nation. The revolution washed over the land, making life in the capital exciting and unsettling. It was a period of great change, and some were swept away by the tide. But for one man, the turbulence of that era was just the beginning of an extraordinary story.
Episode 1, The Adventure of the Great Departure. Okay, normally the series establishes who actually did it right at the start of the case. But this time, well, of course Naruhodo is innocent, but why? 22nd November, 8:43 a.m., Supreme Court of Judicature, Defendants Antechamber 5. I still can't believe it. I still can't believe this is happening. How could it be that just beyond the doors to this quiet little chamber is the highest court in Japan, waiting to decide my fate? What? Oh, no, nothing. Save your glares, murderer. Sorry. My name is Ryonosuke Naruhodo. I'm a second-year student at the Imperial Yume University. 3 days ago, I somehow find myself in the middle of a horrifying incident. And now here I am, awaiting my trial. That's enough! Stop monologuing! He's not obliged to listen to such abuse, officer. And who are you? I'm this man's lawyer. I'll be defending him today. Lawyer? Yes, and until the judge has given his verdict on the case, no one has the right to treat him as a criminal. So you will hold your tongue. Technicalities, look at you. You haven't even graduated yet. And yet, I still seem to know better than you how a court officer should behave. Right, Ryonosuke? Oh, yes, of course. Sorry. What are you apologizing to me for? Oh, no, I suppose it wasn't my fault. But really, Kazuma, I never meant to drag you into this. I'm sorry. Oh, there you go again, apologizing. Just like always. Though I must say, you've been all over the newspapers these past few days. Yume University professor murdered in cold blood by student. But obviously, you didn't actually do it, did you? Of course not! You have to believe me, I didn't do it! I could never murder someone. Then there's nothing to worry about. Straighten yourself up. Hold your head high. You mean? I believe you. I know you're innocent, Ryonosuke. Kazuma Asogi, my best friend, also in his second year at Yume University. But he's far more clever than I. A star student, in fact. He's even a qualified lawyer. Impressive considering he's still an undergraduate. It's not that impressive. The very concept of lawyers is only a few years old. Well, here in Japan, anyway. My qualifications don't mean much. Yet. You said exactly the same thing 3 days ago. But I'm proud to have a friend like you, Kazuma. Truly. 3 days ago? Yes, that's when all this started. Congratulations, Kazuma! It looks like you're going to get to study abroad at last! I know! I've been forever dreaming of this day. Finally, those government elites have acknowledged my academic achievement and successes in court. So you'll be representing Japan as you immerse yourself in the most sophisticated legal system in the world. I'm really happy for you, and proud as your friend. There's not a soul in university who doesn't know Kazuma's name. He's a living legend. It's like there's some mysterious aura billowing around his temple. I want to bring about change in our own legal system. That's why I have to cross the ocean to see the real thing with my own eyes. The heart of the British Empire. Oh, I wish I could see it too. Then come with me. We'd have a wild time tearing up the streets of Her Majesty's City of London together. If only it were that simple. Oh dear, look at the time. I better be going. Alright, I'll see you later. I think I'll stay and enjoy this place a while longer. Good idea. After all, it's not every day you get to visit a high-class Western restaurant like this. See you in English class tomorrow then, partner. It was straight after that. That's when it happened. Asogi, may I have a word? Professor, I didn't know you were coming. Well, this case has personal significance to me. But never mind that for now. Asogi, you should go immediately to the judge's chambers. To His Excellency's chambers? Why? He was looking for you before. You advocating for the defense of this trial was a sudden decision. It seems there may be some confusion about procedures today as a result. Who is this man? I feel as though I've seen him at university before. I see. I'll go at once then. I shall accompany you. Alright then, Ryunosuke. I'll see you in the courtroom. Yes. Thanks, Kazuma. Dot 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 dot. Dot 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 dot. Ugh, this is awkward. If I may. Yes, sorry? You must be the defendant, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, I believe. Yes, that's right. My name is Eugene Mikotoba. I'm a professor of forensic medicine at Yubei University. Ah, Professor Mikotoba. I've heard that name from Kazuma before. As I recall, he's been pushing to get the government to agree to Kazuma studying abroad. Asogi has told me about you. You and he are best friends, I understand. As such, I feel you should know... Know what? Well, as you've no doubt heard, Asogi has been granted permission to go and study in Great Britain. However, if he should fail to defend you in today's trial, I'm afraid that permission will be revoked and never granted again. What? As I suspected, you are unaware of this. I had a feeling Asogi may have chosen not to tell you. He's agreed to defend me, knowing that if he fails, his dreams will be shattered? But I don't understand. Why would the government do such a thing? The administration has to choose from a large number of applicants for overseas study. It is very difficult to persuade them to grant permission, even in the most favorable of circumstances. I don't believe it. But I didn't do it! I swear it! I'm not a murderer! I'm sure that's true. Nevertheless, I can assure you that proving your innocence will be no easy task. You see, there are certain peculiarities about today's trial. Sorry? What do you mean? You'll soon understand once proceedings get underway. What? But what should I do? Well... Naturally, I'm not going to suggest doing anything that could lead to a conviction. Right, so... As soon as the trial starts, the judge will pose a certain question to the defense. When that happens, you must answer before anyone else. You must say, I do. I do? But what will the question be? Surely not, do you accept the accusations brought before you? Of course not. Defendant! Court is about to begin. Proceed to the courtroom at once. It would seem our surreptitious discussions are to be cut short. So allow me to summarize. Kazuma Asogi must not be the defense lawyer in this trial. Of course, as defendant, the final decision is yours. What are you waiting for? Do you want to be found guilty for failing to appear? Get moving! There's no point in anyone advocating for the likes of you anyway! This is it. If the trial goes badly, Kazuma's dreams of studying abroad are over. And what's more, I'll be found guilty of murder. And so, with absolutely no idea what lay ahead, I embarked on that unforgettable trial. My one and only chance of proving my innocence. The trial would decide my destiny. November, 9 o'clock a.m. Supreme Court of Judicature, courtroom number 2. So this is a courtroom. The Supreme Court of Judicature. The Supreme Court of Judicature. No court in the land has more power. I don't much like the look of those people sitting in the public gallery. Lots of military and other uniforms in there. The powers that be have demanded that this be a secret trial. A secret trial? A trial that's closed to ordinary members of the public. Only military and government officials may attend. What? But why? It'll become clear in time. But for now, you need to concentrate, Ryunosuke. It's about to begin. The court will now hear the trial of Ryunosuke Naruhodo.
The prosecution is ready, Your Excellency.
As is the defense. Before we begin, there is one point of order I would like to confirm. Yesterday evening, the defense made a last-minute request for a change of advocate. That's correct, Your Excellency. I made the request myself. Normal procedure is for the defendant's advocacy to be cited 2 days prior to trial. As this is an unusual circumstance, I'm obliged to ask for final confirmation now. Who advocates for the defendant in this trial? This is it. This must be the question. Who's going to defend me? That's the question the professor meant. But then, if I say I do... I need to answer quickly. What should I do? Answer I do. Your Excellency, no confirmation is needed. As I'm standing here beside the defendant, I hope it's clear who will advocate for his defense. What is the meaning of this unruly outburst? I would like to inform the court that I, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, will be defending myself. You'll be... What? What are you playing at, Ryunosuke? Professor Mikitoba told me everything, just now, before the trial. He did what? He said that your dreams of studying abroad would be dashed if we were to lose. How sad. It means you don't have faith in me. You think I won't be able to get you off. No, it's not that, really. It's just that... Well, on the off chance that things don't go well for me, I couldn't bear to be the reason that you... Yes, I knew that's how you'd feel, which is exactly why I decided not to tell you. Professor Mikitoba shouldn't have stuck his nose in. Very well. The court hereby recognizes the defendant's desire to advocate for himself in today's trial.
Well, well. Does the accused admit defeat already? Renouncing his own counsel? Really?
Objection!
Make no mistake, counsel. This merely shows that the defendant's innocence is so apparent he's confident he can speak for himself. Isn't that so, Naruhodo-san? Oh, yes, exactly! Exactly what I wasn't thinking. I'm not confident at all. In fact, my mind's a complete blank. And the right family legacy of defending people in court begins right here. I realize you're in charge now, but still, try not to look so bewildered.
Humph. Well, for a mere university student to be brought before the Supreme Court, you must have perpetrated a most heinous crime indeed.
As you are no doubt aware, this is the Supreme Court of Judicature of Japan. Accordingly, the very highest standards of conduct are expected of all present. Do I make myself clear, Defendant Naruhodo? Yes, Your Excellency. It is therefore my duty to assess your competence for the task you have undertaken. Competence? What does that mean? He's questioning your ability to do the job. Well, he can't be questioning it more than I am. So, let's start with the very simplest of questions. Yes! Kindly state before the court the name of the victim in this case. Well, that's easy enough. I've heard his name more times than I care to remember. But... wait. I'm so nervous I can't even remember that. What was it again? Ryunosuke. Let me guess, your mind's gone blank? You know me so well. All the relevant information for this case can be found in the court record. But I can't even find that! It's simple. You can access the court record with the press of R. You ever find you've forgotten something, just consult that. It's all in there. I just have to press R for the court record? Alright, there's no time to lose. This is the list of evidence you've collected. Now try switching to people instead with R. You'll find details about the victim in here. When you're done, just press B to go back. Okay, let's see people. Kazuma Sogi, 23, second year at the Imperial Yuma University. He's my best friend, despite being a student and qualified defense lawyer as well. Yuji Mikitoba, 42, a medical school professor at the Imperial Yuma University. He's authority in forensic medicine and Kazuma's mentor. Taketsuchi Aochi, 51, the lead prosecutor of this case, who would appear of little love for the changes the Cultural Reformation has brought about. John H. Wilson, 47, the victim of the case. He was a visiting professor of medicine at Yuma University from the British Empire. John H. Wilson. Gotcha. So remember, everything to do with the current case can be found in the court record. Now, you better not keep His Excellency waiting any longer. Go on. Find the victim in the people section of the court record and press X to present. Try it now.
Yes!
The victim's name was Dr. John H. Wilson. Well, at least you can remember the name of an esteemed member of your own university. Dr. Wilson was a visiting professor from England invited to Yuma University 3 years ago. Indeed, which is the reason why this case has such profound implications. The British Empire is at present our country's most valuable foreign ally. And as most of you will be aware, we have just signed a new treaty together after lengthy negotiations. There can't be anyone who hasn't heard about the Anglo-Japanese Treaty of Friendship and Navigation. And yet, despite these delicate circumstances, the blood of an Englishman has been spilt on our soil. You two are both undergraduates at the Imperial Yuma University, are you not? Murdering a professor from the very institution that provides your education. Have you no honor? But I didn't do it. This case is coming under great scrutiny from our allies on the other side of the world. The court therefore wishes for a speedy resolution to this matter. In other words, our feeble government is scared of upsetting England's policymakers. And you're a convenient and expendable scapegoat to blame for this crime. So that's why this trial has these unusual peculiarities, is it? Exactly. Our government needs to convict someone as quickly as possible. All because the victim was an Englishman. Yes, Dr. Wilson was an Englishman. But nationalities and treaties won't make any difference for me here. The fact is, I was there at the scene of the crime. Oh dear, look at the time. I better be going. Alright, I'll see you later. I think I'll stay and enjoy this place a little longer. Good idea. After all, it's not every day you get to visit a high-class Western restaurant like this. See you in English class tomorrow then, partner. The British Empire. Wow, it's incredible to think... Wait. I've seen that man in university. I'm sure he's a visiting professor from Great Britain. I don't know his name, but still, I should go and say hello. So I went over to the professor's table and introduced myself to Dr. Wilson. Now then, let me pose my next question to you, Defendant Naruhodo. Yes, Your Excellency! How did this professor of medicine, Dr. John H. Wilson, lose his life? State before the court the cause of death. The cause of death? Well, obviously that was Ryunosuke, remember that in court, every assertion must be backed up by evidence. By evidence? But how? Find the piece of evidence that shows the professor's cause of death and select present. Do it now. Okay, definitely not my university collar pin. I always wear it on the collar of my uniform jacket. Here's the post-mortem report. Death occurred a little after 2 p.m. It was caused by loss of blood from a gunshot to the chest. The bullet did not pass through the victim's body. That's it.
Yes!
Well, according to this document, the victim suffered a hemorrhagic death due to gunshot trauma.
Learn to read, you imbecile. That's a post-mortem report, I take it?
Sorry, yes, that's right. The, post-mortem report. In the West, a doctor dissects corpses to identify the cause of death in an autopsy. But here in Japan, a police officer merely inspects the body and draws conclusions that way. Oh, I see. As long as I'm not going to be tested on any of this later.
This is a so-called photographic print of the scene of the crime. You can clearly discern scorch marks around the bullet hole produced by the powder explosion. In other words, we should assume that the victim was shot at close range.
Thank you, counsel. The court will accept this modern scientific evidence into the record. The photographic print of the victim has been entered into the court record. So that's a photographic print. Well, that's something I've never seen before. It's clearly superior to a drawing. The detail is incredible. Very well, I'm satisfied with your answers. Let us start the trial.
Certainly, Your Excellency. So, without further ado, in order to better appraise the court with the facts of the case, the prosecution hereby calls its first witness, who was there at the scene of the crime when it happened.
Ugh, this is it then. I think I may have worked out what the professor had in mind. The professor? You mean Dr. Mikotoba? Yes, clearly you're the defense lawyer today, not me. But that doesn't mean... Well, I can still act as your assistant. Ah, of course! When he was speaking with me before, he simply said, Kazuma Asogi must not be the defense lawyer in this trial. He really has been sticking his oar in, hasn't he? Maybe, but any help you could give me would certainly be appreciated, Kazuma. Well, my first piece of advice is, rein in that crazy look of bewilderment and control the cold sweats. Well, if you rein in that crazy head and control the cold stares first. Yeah, seriously, where's all that wind coming from? Okay, at this dramatic moment, it looks like this is actually a good time for a station break. So, you're watching me play the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles as part of 100 Days of Gaming, Raid the Arcade. 100 Days of Gaming is part of Extra Life, the 24-hour gaming marathon that's part of the Children's Miracle Network. You want to play games and heal kids? Go to www.extra-life.org. There you can sign up for free and then start collecting pledges from your friends, family, and co-workers. Then you get to play games for 24 hours straight on November 6th, and all the pledges go toward your local children's hospital. Or if November 6th is no good for you, you can play whenever you like. Or if 24 hours is no good for you, you can play as long as you like. Whatever, because you're using games to change kids' health and change the future. I've been part of Extra Life for 9 years now, and I'm playing games to help raise money and awareness for the Alberta Children's Hospital right here in Calgary that helps out over 100,000 sick and injured children each year. And Extra Life just keeps getting bigger and better every year. In fact, August is Tabletop Month here at Extra Life, and Tabletop Appreciation Weekend is August 21st to 22nd. So start playing tabletop games and get your fundraising going, because anybody who raises $150 US in the month of August will get this set of Extra Life dice from our Gamers in Arms over at Heartbeat Dice, and I want them to be blunt about it. So please donate to the Alberta Children's Hospital through my links below. Last year in 2020, over 43,000 participants in 113 countries helped over 10 million kids at 170 children's hospitals across Canada and the United States by raising over $17.4 million. And Extra Life just keeps getting bigger and better every year. But we can't do it without your help. So, if you would like to know more about Extra Life or would like to sign up yourself, go to www.extra-life.org. Or if you'd like to help me in my fundraising for the Alberta Children's Hospital and help me get these sweet, sweet dice, you could do so in the links below. Okay, now that's enough of a station break. And now, let's get back for your viewing pleasure, The Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Witness, state your name and occupation for the court, please. Of course, my name is Satoru Hosanaga. I am the head waiter at a Western-style restaurant called La Carnival. Are you alright? You seem to be coughing up some, It's a regular occurrence. It really doesn't bother me. Well, it really, really should. As everyone knows, the capital's southeastern quarter was developed for foreign visitors some years ago. It's become a very fashionable district now, full of hotels to accommodate overseas guests. This grim crime occurred in one of the district's so-called restaurants, an Occidental eatery, 3 days ago. Understood. Hosanaga-san, you will kindly tell the court everything you can about the incident. At once, sir. And no petty interjections from the aspiring lawyer boy, please. Oh, perspiring maybe, but aspiring? It was just after 2 p.m. on the day in question. We have few diners at that time of day. The lunchtime rush was over, and there were only 3 tables still occupied. That fits in with my memory of it, too. There was hardly anyone else in the place. It was when I was in the kitchen, putting away crockery and cutlery. A gunshot rang out, so I hurried out to the dining area to see what had happened. I found the victim, an English gentleman, slumped in his chair. And standing immediately beside him, gun in hand, was the accused university student.
Yes!
Hold on! Let me just clarify something here. While I did pick up a gun that I found lying on the floor beside the professor, I didn't shoot him!
Objection!
I believe I asked you to refrain from petty interjections. The court wishes to listen to the witness's report of what he saw, you amateur! But the next time you interrupt at an inappropriate time, you will be penalized, Defendant Naruhodo. Don't worry, Ryonosuke. You'll have your chance to fight back. For now, we must quietly listen to the witness. Ugh. If I may confirm one point, waiter, standing beside the victim with a gun in his hand was the same man we see here in court today? Yes, without question. I see. And apart from the accused, was there anyone else standing beside the victim? No. There was no one else around that table but the deceased Englishman and the university student. Huh? Wait, what did you just say? There was no one else around that table? What's the matter, Ryonosuke? That's just not right. When I went over to Dr. Wilson to say hello, there was a woman sitting opposite him at his table. Really? And that's not something the waiter could have missed. I've been warned about interjecting, but still, what should I do? Let's wait and see. I desperately wanted to say something, but I was told not to interject. Ryonosuke, if your parents tell you to study, you're the kind of man who would diligently get to work, aren't you? I suppose I am. I've never gotten to UA University otherwise. But you can't just always follow the rules in life, you know. If you don't say what you want to say right now, you'll seriously regret it when you're found guilty. Alright, you've scared me. I won't forget that piece of advice in a hurry. And there is something I want to say. I'm just going to shut my eyes and say it.
Yes!
Just a moment, please! Dr. Wilson wasn't alone that day. I'm sure of it. There was a lady sitting with him at the same table.
Objection!
Dear me, what are we going to do with you? With your blatant disregard for court proceedings, I begin to wonder if you're not a fraud. Could it be that the accused, this mere student, is not a real lawyer after all? But I'm sure of what I saw. Osanaga-san, is there any chance you're mistaken? Perhaps your memory of events is... No. The deceased gentleman came to dine alone. I don't believe it. I actually have a rough plan of the restaurant as it was that day. Please, have a look if you'd like to. Let me see. A sketch of the establishment's layout drawn by yourself, I presume? That's right. I'm afraid I used the back of my business card. It was a turbulent situation. However, as you can see, the gentleman in question was seated alone. Well, you're clearly a very conscientious waiter. Thank you, sir. The court will take this plan and add it to the court record as evidence. Oh, well... Is there a problem? Hand the plan to the court officer at once. Of course. Here you are. What was that all about? He's been completely calm and collected until now. Something certainly seems to have shaken him. Oh, dig that voice acting. So, the court has now heard a précis of the case. Okay, before I go any further, I'm just going to take a look at that business card. Okay, the head waiter's business card, a sketch of the restaurant's layout is on the back. Let's just take a closer look. Kitchen, the entrance, magnifying glass. Okay, I'll bet there might be something on here looking at it with the magnifying glass, but probably nothing right now. But let's take a look later. Yes, at the moment the gunshot was heard and in the restaurant, the only person in close proximity to the victim was the defendant on trial today. You would see we are looking at a black and white case here. Defendant Naruhodo. Yes, Your Excellency? If you admit your guilt at this stage, the court is willing to look mercifully upon you. In other words, you may have some small reprieve in terms of your inevitable punishment. I called this waiter as an unsworn witness in order to explain the details of the case to the court. But I must warn the defense, if you are determined to pursue matters further in this trial. The prosecution has decisive evidence from sworn witnesses who were present at the scene of the crime. What do you think I should do, Kazuma? What do you mean? Well, I'm going to be found guilty one way or another, it seems. Would it be sensible to plead guilty at this stage and hope for a more lenient sentence? Everyone keeps telling me this trial is unusual, about these peculiarities. You said it, Professor Mikitoba said it, and so has the judge and the prosecution. I'm scared of what lies ahead if I push this. As I said from the outset, I believe you're innocent. I trust you, and yet, despite knowing that, you're willing now to throw that trust back in my face? Is that it? What? If the accused is in fact innocent, then a defense lawyer is duty-bound to prove that innocence by whatever means necessary. Are you just going to abandon that duty? Are you just going to give up on yourself? The battle hasn't even begun yet, Ryunosuke. The defense pleads not guilty, Your Excellency. We invite the prosecution to stop making empty threats and bring out its witnesses. Then we'll see just how decisive this evidence really is. Indeed. Prosecutor Iuchi, please continue with proceedings.
Tisk, well, you are warned. The young can be so reckless. You know, many call me a saint, but I could be a devil when I want to be.
Ugh.
In a few short moments from now, that dumbstruck young mouth of yours will be silenced forever. The prosecution calls its next witnesses.
Very well. Officer, bring forth the witnesses at once.
Witnesses, kindly state your names and occupations for the court.
Yes, sir. The Great Nippon Imperial Army Sergeant Ayisa Dosa reporting for duty, sir!
Myself, I find employ as a purveyor of fine articles of antiquity from the efflorescence of our nation, Nippon, and conduct my trade from Rasute, a humble premises in the 2nd District. Kuyoryu Kotuka, at your service.
An antique dealer and a soldier. What an unusual pairing!
Both of the gentlemen were present at the restaurant on the day in question.
It must be the diners at the other table that the waiter mentioned.
Myself, I habitually make tea of the most exquisite aroma at the establishment in question, always post-noon, and not infrequently converse with interested parties regarding the curios for which I make my business.
I can't understand a word that old man is saying. He's an antique dealer, and it sounds like he's a regular at La Carnival. He seeks out potential customers who may have an interest in antiques and tries to sell his wares to them. He obviously targets La Carnival because it's a high-class restaurant with rich clientele. Right, I see. Although, to be honest, that sergeant looks more like he'd be a seller rather than a buyer.
Now, you both witnessed the precise moment of this most atrocious incident. Is that correct?
Affirmative! The enemy unit was seen attacking the foreigner in what can only be described as an act of war, sir! It was that black uniformed rogue infantry over there who unloaded his firearms, sir! This man's impossible to understand as the other. But I'm also sure I heard a strange noise during that last thing he said. Yeah, I heard it too. I'm doing a cold reading of all the dialogue here, but yeah, I heard something like a buzzing noise. So this is the decisive evidence the prosecution was threatening. The soldier is claiming that he actually saw the precise moment you shot the victim dead. Yes. Well, are you starting to feel uncomfortable? If I'm honest, I was feeling uncomfortable from the start. Now, the court will hear your formal testimony, please. You will state everything you saw at the precise moment that the incident occurred. Sir, yes, sir! Standing by to report, sir! Oh, I heard something as well. Almost sounded like a squeaking noise.
Oh, unsavory memories of a most acerbic afternoon.
I was ingesting a regulation beef steak at the restaurant while having a tactical discussion with the old man.
Myself, I was extolling the virtues of a particularly fine golden curio to the military gentleman.
At that precise moment, a firearm was discharged. I observed the enemy's actions with my own eyes. I heard that squeaking noise again. First, I thought it actually might be interference from all the audio-visual equipment I have here set up next to my computer, but it could be coming from the game itself. It's supposed to be coming from the game itself. The black uniformed university cadet fired on the English civilian, and from the back, the cowardly little weasel.
I was on my hands and knees investigating the whereabouts of my mysteriously absconded precious curio.
Well, so you, Sergeant Nosa, actually witnessed the vital moment. You saw the split second when the defendant fired the weapon at the victim. Yes, sir! Affirmative, sir! That wicked university cadet, sir! The cruel and unforgivable enemy! And I heard that squeaking noise again.
What times we live in when an English gentleman may be assailed in the broad light of day. But this is ridiculous! I didn't shoot anyone! Is that really true, Ryunosuke? Yes, all I did was pick up the gun that I saw lying on the floor. After I said hello to Dr. Wilson, I went back to my table and started drinking some coffee. Then, when I'd finished, I got up from my seat to leave the restaurant, when I noticed an English-made gun next to the chair where the professor was sitting. I thought perhaps the professor had dropped it. So I bent down, and just as I was picking it up, bang! Well, if that's the truth, there was obviously a criminal on the scene somewhere. And somewhere in these two witnesses' testimonies, there's a clue as to who that criminal was. There is? Ryunosuke, you must exercise your right to cross-examine the witnesses. Cross-examine? Do it now. As we have heard, Your Excellency, there is no room for doubt in the testimony of these witnesses. The defendant is clearly guilty. It is time to bring this despicable student to justice! Certainly, the testimony the court has just heard eliminates any vestige of doubt. Therefore, it is my grave duty to declare the verdict of this...
Yes!
What in the name of the Emperor is the meaning of this outburst? The defense demands its right to a cross-examination. Dear me. Let me guess. The Hachimaki headband boy next door told me to do it. How pathetic. Huh? How did he know? The prosecution objects. This is a clear waste of time. The defendant obviously has no experience. How could he possibly carry out a cross-examination?
Objection!
The defense is asserting its right to a cross-examination. Whether or not you think he's capable of it is irrelevant. Whoop. Kazuma is so commanding. Very well. Let the defense conduct a cross-examination of the witnesses. Alright, this is where the battle really begins for Ryunosuke. But I don't even know what I have to do at a cross-examination. Isn't obvious? You have to expose the lies in the witnesses' statements. How? You didn't fire the gun, which means what that soldier said has to be a lie. Well, yes, but it's just a case of proving it, and the key to doing that is evidence. Right, evidence. All you need to do is present some decisive and indisputable evidence that proves the witness is lying. Now let's go, Ryunosuke. Don't let them beat you. All right then, it's all or nothing. Oh, what a weak little slap at the table. I was adjusting a regulation beefsteak at the restaurant while having a tactical discussion with the old man. Myself, I was extolling the virtues of particularly foreign gold and curio to the military gentleman. At that precise moment, a firearm was discharged. I observed the enemy's action with my own eyes. I'm gonna press him on that!
Yes!
So, you're saying that you actually saw me at the time? Affirmative! I saw you! Laughing, cackling like a madman as you trained the barrel of your gun on the English civilian! But that's impossible! I only... Allow me to confirm just one point, please. What's that, Private? Thinking carefully about the stalemate you just made, it seems to me that it must have been just after you heard the gunshot that you looked over to the victim's table. And so what if it was? Well, if that really is the case, it would mean that you didn't in fact see the precise moment when the killer actually fired the gun. Arg! And double arg!
My sixth sense.
Sorry?
My sixth sense of danger. I picked up the waves of murderous energy radiating from your foul mind. Which means, a split second before you pulled the trigger, I was looking right at you, cadet.
Surely that's not really possible, is it?
Do you think I would have got where I am today in the Army if it wasn't for some danger in the air, son?
Well, it would seem that the soldier is absolutely convinced that he saw you do the deed. This is not good.
Oh, I got an achievement. The black uniformed varsity cadet fired on the English civilian, and from the back, the cowardly little weasel.
I was on my hands and knees investigating the whereabouts of my mysteriously absconded precious curio. I have no idea what I'm supposed to do here. Listen, Ryunosuke. We know there are lies lurking in those statements. It's time to expose them.
I understand that. The question is, how?
Like I said before, the key to this is using evidence that you've collected. You can examine and present evidence while a witness is giving testimony by pressing R. Go through each witness statement and the details about each piece of evidence and compare all the facts. Somewhere in there you'll find something that doesn't add up. In other words, an inconsistency. An inconsistency? When you find a statement and a piece of evidence that seem to contradict each other, present your evidence with X and rip the witness apart. Just be careful, because if you assert a contradiction that has no basis, you'll be given a penalty. If you're dealt too many penalties, the defendant's case will fall apart and you'll receive a guilty verdict. So that's it. Peruse the evidence of the court record and find an inconsistency with the witness's statement. Alright, I'll give it a try. You can hear the witness's statement over and over again, as many times as you like. So keep your hand and be measured in your attack. Good luck, partner. Okay, let's see. Usually when I'm playing the Ace Attorney games, I press them on every statement, regardless of it actually doesn't mean anything. But let's see what it has to say there.
Why aren't you saying anything? Is this some new interrogation technique?
I hadn't actually thought of what I wanted to ask. Just ask about anything that catches your attention, anything that bothers you.
Alright then, this beefsteak you mentioned, what kind of food is that? Attention! Act! Beefsteak is a delicious cut of veal, vigorously cooked on a cast iron grill and served piping hot!
Oh.
If food could receive medals of honor, beefsteak would almost be highly decorated as a cutlet!
Right, I see. Thank you, sir. So, next question.
This cutlet you mentioned, what kind of food is that? Attention! Cutlet is a delicious cut of veal tossed in breadcrumbs and deep fried in cooking oil. Accept your guilty verdict, atone for your crimes, and when you're released from prison, try it! Yes, sir, well, sir, on the double, sir!
Sorry to interrupt, but how about trying to stick to questions that are relevant to the case?
Oops, sorry, I'll do my best.
So, next question. It's just me, or do you keep hearing a sort of wah crying noise?
Negative!
Well, at least we learned he's a big beef feller. Affirmative. It's not easy knowing what question to ask. Myself, I was extolling the virtues of a particularly fine golden curio of military gentleman. Okay, that doesn't seem important. For this moment, a firearm was discharged. Fired on the English civilian from the back. Wait a minute! According to the autopsy report, it says he was shot from the front. He's saying I shot him in the back. The post-mortem report says it was in the front.
That's wrong.
Yes!
What are you playing at, cadet? What is the meaning of a subordination? Thrusting this wad of papers in my mustache. Inconsistency, sir! I mean, yes! There's a clear inconsistency here. Tisk, what nonsense. What could this document possibly tell us that we don't already know? Well, obviously, that, I know what I want to say, but the words just won't come out of my mouth. I think this proves beyond any doubt, Your Excellency, that there is no place for an amateur student here in this grand courtroom. This is so frustrating. Oh, please. Surely this doesn't require an explanation. It couldn't be more plain. To spell it out would be an insult to the court. Cosmo, what? What are you talking about? It's apparent from a single glance at the post-mortem report presented by the defense that there's a clear discrepancy here with the sergeant's statement. What? Sergeant Ayisa Nosa. Yes, sir. What, sir? The statement you just made was this. The black uniformed varsity cadet fired on the English civilian, and from the back, the cowardly little weasel. Yes, sir! Affirmative, sir! I witnessed the crime with my own military-grade eyes, sir!
Yes!
But no, that just can't be! And why not, cadet? Because... As is clearly stated in the post-mortem report, fatal hemorrhage from pectoral ballistic trauma, no exit wound, bullet did not pass through the body. The photographic print of the victim clearly shows the same thing. The victim, Dr. Wilson, died from a bullet wound to the chest. Sergeant, according to your witness statement, the culprit shot the victim from behind. And that is the obvious discrepancy here. Well, how do you explain it? Get back down there! What was that? Something just popped up from behind his back, but he pushed it back down again? Certainly there is a clear discrepancy with the facts here. Would you not agree, Sergeant Nosa? Yes, sir. At this juncture, that would appear to be indisputable. Until the moment I heard the firearm discharge, my eyes were... Okay, what's he doing with a baby? Firmly fixated on delicious like carnival steak, sir! What? The last testimony the court heard has proven one thing beyond all reasonable doubt. This witness, Sergeant Ayisa Nosa, did not see the defendant firing a gun at all! Ugh, that's absurd! I think the conclusion we must draw is simple. There is no place for an amateur prosecutor here in this grand courtroom! Oh, got an achievement! There's been a complete turnabout in the mood of this trial just on that one discrepancy. So this is what being an ace attorney is all about. But I definitely saw him! That university cadet there! He's pointing the firearm directly at the victim's back!
Yes!
But I never fired the gun! All I did was pick it up off the floor! And you, old man, you didn't see the moment the victim was shot either? Myself, I have already been quite clear. The gunshot interested me not. I was far too busy on the floor. Too busy on the floor?
Sorry, what were you doing?
Hunting for treasure.
Treasure?
Indeed! The Hoi Arakoban, my prize coin! On each occasion when I visit that restaurant, it is my habitude to place in my bosom pocket a particular trinket of interest from my shop recipe,
In the hopes of meeting a rich diner who might like to buy it from you?
On the day under scrutiny was to the military man that I proffed my Hoi treasure. Believed that he would purchase such a rare find, I did not, but I was presented with a little alternative. And then, after averting my eyes for the briefest of moments, it was no more. It simply vanished.
The Koban vanished?
Hunting around under the table, I was in a case my habit may have fallen there. And then it happened.
You heard the gunshot, you mean?
Indeed I did, but I heeded it not, for I was concerned only with finding my absconded Hoi treasure. Nothing could distract me.
Out of interest, did you find the coin in the end?
No.
I see.
That lamentable day, the precious Hoi Koban was lost to me. No doubt some unscrupulous scoundrel pocketed the prize coin for himself.
As I'm sure everyone present is aware, this case demands a swift and decisive resolution. Our government has promised to send a full report to Great Britain by telegraph this very afternoon. Nevertheless, the witness testimony the court has just heard was inconclusive. No matter how subservient our government feels it must be to the British, it would be unforgivable to deliver a verdict on this trial right now. What is your position, Prosecutor Aochi?
Worry not, Your Excellency. The defendant may have fled a tiger at the front gate, but he will find a wolf at the back. My witnesses have further testimony to make.
Explain.
Upon hearing their next statements, it will become abundantly clear that there is only one person who could have possibly committed this despicable crime. The equally despicable defendant, Ryunosuke Naruhodo. What?
He really seems to have a despicable opinion of you, doesn't he? Very well, the court invites the witnesses to testify again. You will thoroughly explain the reasoning behind the prosecution's allegation. Is that clear?
As clear as Kiriko glass, Your Excellency.
Yes, sir, at once, sir! Awaiting signal to testify, sir! Excuse me, but there's something or someone peeking out over your shoulder, I think. Affirmative! The newest member of the Nosa family to rise up through the ranks, sir! Name, Ido! You see those straps are assigned the sergeant, being too strapped to afford a nanny. Ido, attention! Your father is about to quell the enemy! Watch and learn, my boy! The true culprit. Okay, it's 11 o'clock, and normally this is when I'd sign off for the evening, but I want to see this first case all the way to the end, so I'll just keep on going. So, it's time for another station break. So you're watching me play the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles as part of 100 Days of Gaming. Raid the Arcade. 100 Days of Gaming is part of Extra Life, the 24-hour gaming marathon that's part of the Children's Miracle Network. If you want to play games and heal kids, go to www.extra-life.org. There you can sign up for free and start collecting pledges from your friends, family, and co-workers, so you can play games for 24 hours straight on November 6th, and all those pledges go toward your local children's hospital. But if November 6th is no good for you, or 24 hours is no good for you, you can play whatever you like, whenever you like, wherever you like, as long as you like, because it all goes to helping change kids' health and changing the future. I've been part of Extra Life for 9 years now, and I'm playing games to help raise money and awareness for the Alberta Children's Hospital right here in Calgary that helps out over 100,000 sick and injured children each year. And you could donate to my fundraising campaign in the links below.
August is Tabletop Month here at Extra Life, and on August 21st and 22nd, it's Tabletop Appreciation Weekend. So, tabletop gamers, get playing tabletop games. Start playing Dungeons and Dragons, Catan, Exploding Kittens, whatever, because this is the prime opportunity to kickstart your fundraising. Because in the month of August, if you earn $150 in fundraising, you will get this set of Heartbeat-made dice from Extra Life. And seriously, they just look so awesome, and frankly, I want one. So please donate in the links below. Last year in 2020, over 43,000 participants in 113 countries helped over 10 million kids at 170 children's hospitals across Canada and US by raising over $17.4 million. So, we do need your help to make Extra Life even bigger and better than ever before. So, if you'd like to learn more about Extra Life, go to www.extra-life.org. Or again, if you want to help me in my fundraising for the Alberta Children's Hospital, you can do so in the links below. Okay, that's another station break. Again, normally I'd sign off at around this time because it's a little after 11 p.m. here in Calgary, but I want to see this first trial all the way to the end, so I'm going to keep on going. We're going into extra innings tonight, to use a sports analogy. Okay, so now let's get right back to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Even if what I saw wasn't the precise moment the firearm was discharged, it's almost the same thing. Yes, pointing his gun at the foreign man, he was that young lad in black. That much I myself did see. Furthermore, a visual search of the premises at the time confirmed that we were the only personnel present. Indeed, alone he was, the Englishman, dining all by himself. Therefore, no one other than the black uniformed cadet could have dispatched the Englishman. Over and out! These testimonies are certainly... Wait, that's nonsense! The victim, Dr. Wilson, wasn't alone at all! Please, enough of these outbursts already! But there was a woman! There was a young woman at his table! You must have seen her. Everyone there must have seen her.
Objection!
If you call yourself a lawyer, then you will respect the rules of the court and speak accordingly. We're not here to listen to your fantasies. Ugh. It is evident beyond all reasonable doubt that the victim was alone at the time of the incident. The prosecution has photographic evidence of this fact. Is this a photographic print of the scene of the crime, counsel? Indeed, of the table at which the victim was dining, taken by an investigator immediately after the incident. As can plainly be seen, there is only one place set. Certainly, based on the appearance of this print, it would be reasonable to conclude that the victim was not in the company of anyone else. Arrgh, this doesn't make any sense. The court will add this new photographic evidence to the record. Okay, a bottle of carbonated water and a steak lunch can be seen at the victim's table. I don't understand. What's going on here? It's just not possible that nobody else saw that woman. The waiter before said the same thing. He maintains that Dr. Wilson came to the restaurant alone as well. But that's not true! I saw her! I swear that I saw a woman with him! It would seem that we'll be able to telegraph the report to Great Britain on time after all. The witness testimonies we have just heard leave no further room for doubt. These are very sensitive political times, as we all know. The ink is still fresh on the treaty with Great Britain. To think that sorry if I'm mispronouncing these Japanese names, folks. To think that Takatsuchi Aruchi, will have contributed to the amity of these two great empires is an honor. How could this be happening? The judge is ready to rule! Stand tall, Ryunosuke. It's not over yet. What? If what you say is true, then there's something going on here behind the scenes. And now is your chance to expose it, to draw out the truth in your cross-examination. I don't know, Kazuma. The defense is entitled to cross-examine the witnesses, but make it quick. Understood?
Just rules can be so unbending at times.
Ugh. Even if what I saw wasn't the precise moment the firearm was discharged, it's almost the same thing. No way!
Yes!
No, it's not the same thing at all. For a start, I didn't fire that gun.
We have a difference of opinion on that. The opinion of a uniformed officer versus that of a fledgling cadet.
I don't think so. Consider this, defendant. Just a moment ago, I blinked.
Did you?
Did you see it? Did you see me blink? How could I? And yet, it's an undeniable fact that I did blink. So there you have it.
What? Attention! The sound of the firearm rang in my ears, and the very next moment, I saw you waving the gun at the Englishman!
I think that says it all, don't you? And let us not forget that the antiques dealer witnessed the accused in this most incriminating position as well. Isn't that so, Korikuta-san? Yes, pointing his gun at the foreign man, he was that young lad in black that much I myself did see.
Yes!
Yes, it may be true that I was holding the gun at that point in time, but I've told you already, that's only because I picked it up off the floor!
Well, obviously, as a culprit, that's the only way you can explain it away.
I just finished drinking my coffee and was about to leave the restaurant when I noticed a gun on the floor at Dr. Wilson's feet, so I picked it up. And at exactly that moment, a gunshot rang in my ears.
Full of events beyond our control, life is.
Sorry? What do you mean?
In your case, you found a pistol on the floor and picked it up, which precipitated this testing predicament. Whereas, conversely, I failed to pick up the crowbar from the floor and find myself in an equally testing predicament as a result. Anyway, the fact remains, myself, I did see you, with pistol in hand, standing over the foreigner.
Furthermore, a visual search of the premises at the time confirmed that we were the only personnel present.
Yes!
You must have noticed someone else at Dr. Wilson's table. There was a lady there.
Objection!
As you have been at pains to point out time and again, I feel I'm growing a callus in my ear. And yet, no one else appears to have even caught a glimpse of this woman.
Arg. If only there were more people dining there at the time, then someone else would have noticed her. Unfortunately, it was already past 2 p.m. when it happened. A quiet time between lunch and dinner at any restaurant. I know, of course the place was almost empty. It's what you'd expect. Certainly 2 p.m. is neither here nor there in terms of a time to eat. I wonder if there was a reason why the victim was eating at the time of day, and why he was alone.
Yes, Your Excellency, there was indeed a reason.
There was?
This was found in the victim's jacket pocket.
What is that, Counsel?
It is a medical report card, Your Excellency. It would seem that the victim had an appointment at a clinic prior to visiting the restaurant.
What's a clinic? Yes, there would indeed appear to be an entry for the date in question. 19th November, noon to past 1 p.m. The very day of the incident.
So the victim went for a late lunch following his appointment. The explanation couldn't be more simple. The prosecution felt no need to submit this evidence before, as it really has no bearing on the case.
I wonder... What do you think, Ryunosuke? Well, it is hard to see how it could be related, really.
Oh, hey, man. Yeah, I see that Ben is in the chat room right now. Yep, that's right, everybody. Help me get some dice. Oh, thanks for the raid, Ben. Yep, that's right. If you want to donate to the Alberta Children's Hospital, you can do so with the links below. Remember, you can request to be entered into the court record as evidence if you think it could be useful. Should I ask for Dr. Wilson's medical report card to be submitted as evidence or not? Yep, let's put it in. The more the merrier.
Yes!
If I may, I'd like to ask for that medical report card to be submitted as evidence, Your Excellency. On what grounds? The court has already heard conclusive witness testimony. Additional evidence would be extraneous. Not to mention that the victim's movements prior to his arrival at the restaurant are of no concern.
Objection!
Whether or not they are of concern is up to us to decide. We have a right to explore all possible avenues. Oh, Ben says he haven't played this before. Oh yeah, the Ace Attorney games are great. This is the latest one in the series. This one just came out just a little while ago. I beg your pardon? You have no authority to refuse a perfectly valid request for submission of evidence. Very well. The court will grant the defense's request. Disc. Youngsters these days are forever asserting their rights. It's a most disturbing trend. Officer, kindly add the victim's medical report card to the court record. What we need right now is new clues. We have to explore things from every possible angle, even if they don't seem relevant at first. Right, I hear ya. You can conspire to prolong this trial as much as you'd like, but it's the day after the festival. Already for you. Or perhaps you'd forgotten that these witness testimonies leave no room for doubt. Feel free to reiterate for their accused, Korkuta-san. Indeed, alone he was the Englishman, dining all by himself. Therefore, no one other than the black uniformed cadet could have dispatched the Englishman. Over and out. Okay, let's think this over. Excellent work, Ryunosuke. We've gleaned some new information now. Well, yes, but I don't feel like it changes much. I can't see that it brings any real discrepancies to light. I wouldn't be so sure. Let me see that medical report card you got before. I mean this? Yes, this is a brand new piece of evidence, so perhaps we should examine it in a little more detail. How exactly? You'll notice that some pieces of evidence bear a magnifying glass. These are the ones you may examine. Press A, and you can take a closer look at the piece in question. Use the right stick to rotate the evidence in all directions and examine it from all angles. By using the left stick, you can move the crosshairs around to hunt for clues that may have been missed before. If the crosshairs start to pulsate, press A to investigate further. So, partner, I think you should take a closer look at this medical report card. See if there isn't something new to be learned by examining it in more detail. Alright, see what I can do. I need to use the left stick, the right stick, and A to inspect any areas of the evidence that look suspicious. Okay, this actually does sound weird with these people in the late 19th century talking about video game controls. Okay, let's see. Medical report card required for every visit. Name, Mr. John Watson, Hata Clinic. Okay, it says Hata Clinic on this medical report card. I hate clinics, almost as much as I hate hospitals and surgeries. Aren't they all the same? When I was 5, I caught the only cold I've ever had in my life. And I remember, even though I felt awful already, I had to have this hideous injection in my right arm. Never forget it. Never in my whole life. Most people give their right arm to have only had one cold their whole life. Anyway, I don't think this is a clinic where they treat people for illnesses like that. Let's keep looking for clues.
Don't want to miss anything. Let's see. Let's flip it over. Well, this was a dental clinic? It looks like this medical report was first issued quite some time ago. It's probably a record of long-term treatment, that's why. With a family doctor, I imagine. Well, I can't imagine going to a doctor, I mean. As long as I'm alive, I'm never consulting one. Well, if you were dead, there'd be no point. So you don't like doctors, then? Why would you? They make you drink horrible-tasting medicine, they give you painful injections, and then demand lots of money from you for the privilege. Oh, and you're at your lowest ebb! You sound like a model patient. With a bad case of stubbornness, no less, for which the only cure is very bitter medicine indeed. Oh, got an achievement. Okay, but looks like... Okay, let's look inside. Okay, looks like... Oh, gotta rotate and all weird. Okay, let's see. Let's have a look. Well, this is some kind of medical history. Ah, there's an entry for the day the professor was killed. Extraction of molar with topical anesthesia. Extraction of molar? You mean he had a tooth taken out? It would seem so. Just before the incident, he had a bad tooth removed. Perhaps he was laughing gas. It's the most modern practice in the West for pain relief. Yes, I've heard of this anesthesia. Well, it's hard to believe there's anything that can actually stop you feeling pain. Yeah, there's a cautionary note for the medical practitioner as well. Strictly no food or drink besides water for 3 hours post-procedure until anesthetic effects have been passed. Really? Sounds like information worth bearing in mind. Okay, he's been undergone dental treatment and prohibited from eating or drinking anything but water. It's new information. The meaning of that one particular statement totally changes. So I think it's time we listen to the testimony again, don't you? Definitely. Okay, that one doesn't apply. Yes, pointing his gun. That one doesn't apply. For more visual search premises, confirm the only personnel present. Alone he was, dining all by himself. Therefore, no one other than the black uniform cadet could have dispatched things from over and out. Okay. Even more to go on now. I still don't feel like the situation has really changed, though. No discrepancies have come to light, and that's what we need. Oh, I think the situation has changed a great deal. We've come a long way. How so? Because we have just what we need. It's simply a cause of using it to our advantage now. Then do you mean there is a discrepancy somewhere? I can't see it. The crucial point is that the victim had been prohibited from consuming anything but water when he was shot. That fact has not yet been brought to the court's attention. He's right. Think about Dr. Wilson's circumstances at the time of the incident. Puts a particular statement in a totally different light. Always keep your eye on the progress of the battle. That's the only sure way to win. No, I'm not going to present anything. I'm just going to examine something here. Well, somebody took a bite out of his steak, and they said that was carbonated water, so that syncs up with the doctor's orders. You're drinking anything but water. Let's see, where could the next...
Yes!
I'll try pressing for some more information here. Why aren't you telling the truth?
What? What did you say, cadet? I clearly remember there was a woman sitting across the table from the professor. Perhaps one of you might not have noticed, but for both of you to have failed to see the professor's dining companion, it's just not possible. Unfortunately for you, Defendant Naruhodo, it's not just a case of these two witnesses alone. Sorry? The waiter, whose testimony the court heard earlier, clearly stated the same thing. He also said that the victim was alone. That's right. Precisely. In other words, you are the sole proponent of this phantom lady. But I... If such a woman were indeed present at the scene, the prosecution demands to see proof. And when no such proof exists, the prosecution demands that no further mention of this phantom woman be made. It is a blatant waste of the court's time. There's nothing I can say to that. Even more to go on now. Feel like the situation has changed. No new discrepancies. The situation's changed a great deal. Come a long way. Because we're just what we need. And do you mean there is a discrepancy somewhere? I just have to find it. Let me see. There was the waiter's business card. I will just examine it. There's something here on the other side. What's this? Well, this looks like a policeman's business card. Well, that's unexpected. What is? Look, you see it says the witness's name here? Satoru Hosonaga. Well, yes, business cards do tend to show the person's name. That's sort of the point. It's not the name that's unexpected. It's his job title. His job? Oh! Chief Inspector Satoru Hosonaga, Primary Criminal Investigation Division, Imperial Police Bureau. Inspector? What on earth? I have no idea. Let's face it, the police have a lot of power and influence. If you're wielding it somehow here... Okay, the waiter's business card. That might be more important as well. Don't think there's anything here with the picture. Don't think there's anything here with the... that can be found with the magnifying glass for the photograph either. Okay, victim, Wilson, male, British, time of death, after 2 p.m. Single bullet, fatal hemorrhage, no exit wound. Bullet did not pass through the body. With the camera discharge, same thing. Where's the inconsistency here? Yeah, something doesn't add up here. Let's see. Let's see, where could this be? Let's press him for some more information here. Yes, it may be true I was holding the gun at that point in time. I told you already, well, because I picked it up off the floor. I think I already heard this part.
Let's ask about this visual search. You must have noticed someone else at Dr. Wilson's table. There was a lady there.
Attention!
Okay, I already heard this part as well. Oh, Ben wants to know, oh, do I have my law degree now? Well, I have, I did hear a story a while back that said about how some law professors do use the Ace Attorney games in their classrooms. Obviously not as how as any sensible legal system should work, but to teach you to always believe in your client. Oh, here we go again. Back to the... going through the whole bit about the medical records again.
Yes!
So, you actually saw that with your own eyes, did you? The victim, Dr. Wilson, dining alone. That I did. Forgive me for the position I place you in. So, the testimonies of the old man, the soldier, and the waiter all agree on that point. Isn't that interesting? And let us not forget the incontestable evidence we have to support their statements as well. As can clearly be seen, there is only a single beef steak on the victim's table, a meal for one. This seems more like a story than a game. Yes, you're right, Ben. Yeah, the Ace Attorney games, they're really visual novels, interactive murder mysteries. There is a bit more gameplay elements as the series go on. No. The antiques dealer, the sergeant, and the waiter who testified before. It's not impossible that they're all lying. But if so, then why? If I'm perfectly honest, I have absolutely no idea.
Yes!
Okay, let's press on that. Why aren't you telling the truth? What do you say, Cadet? Okay, I already went through this bit before as well. Yeah, still haven't figured out. Yeah, still really haven't figured out the discrepancies. Yeah, there are some gameplay elements in the Ace Attorney series. You have to investigate crime scenes, analyze the evidence, interview witnesses, and then navigate your way in courtroom to find out who really committed the crime. So let's see. Okay, so the fact that the waiter is a... Oh, never mind. Okay, so the fact that the waiter is actually a police inspector, maybe that might have something to do with it. Whoever be the only person present. Wait a minute! I think I see this now. I'm thinking that maybe this could be it. The waiter was there as well. Okay, let's give this a whirl.
Yes!
That statement is clearly odd. What appears to be odd is the way you're presenting yourself. Pay no attention, Your Excellency. As you wish. Now kindly lower your hand. Never, not until I'm proven that I'm innocent here. Okay, that's not the one. People present, let's see. Yeah, there's got to be something here. Okay, very first case in the game, and already it's presenting me with a real puzzler. Okay, nothing. Let's see. What could the solution be? What could the solution be? What could the solution be? There is something there. Let's take a look at my pen. The symbol of Yuma University. Every student wears this pin with pride. It's funny, but most emblems seem to be either round or rectangular. I think a spike design, even though it doesn't really make any sense. Although it does cause problems. Lots of students end up cutting their fingers on their badges. Perhaps the idea of one of the founders. Sharp pin for a sharp mind or something? My personal student number is engraved on the back here. If you lose your pin, they won't accept you as a Yume student at the university. You may not come in, they say. Of course you get a new pin made if you could just tell them your number. I actually lost mine twice already, but I still don't know my student number by heart. I would say to myself, I must forget to write it down somewhere, but then I forget not to forget that. Okay, that's the same bit of evidence from before. Let's see. Maybe the post-mortem report. Maybe that has something to do with it. Let's see. Fatal hemorrhage from being shot in the chest. No exit wound. Bullet did not pass through the body. Yeah, this is a stumper. There's got to be something else here. Got to be something here that shows that there was someone else here. Okay, actually, this is leaving me actually pretty stumped right now. I was thinking that I could complete this first case in one sitting, but this doesn't appear to be the case. So what I'm actually going to do is that I'm actually going to sleep on this and come back to this later and actually wrap up the stream for tonight. So you've been watching me play the first case of the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles as part of 100 Days of Gaming, Raid the Arcade. 100 Days of Gaming is part of Extra Life, the 24-hour gaming marathon that's part of the Children's Miracle Network. If you want to play games and heal kids, go to www.extra-life.org. There you can sign up for free and then start collecting pledges from your friends, family, and coworkers that all go towards your local children's hospital, and then you get to play games for 24 hours on November 6th. Or play as much as you like, whenever you like, whenever you like. It's all good because you're changing kids' health to change the future. I've been part of Extra Life now for 9 years, and I play games to help raise money for the Alberta Children's Hospital right here in Calgary that helps out over 100,000 sick and injured children each year. And Extra Life is a great way to have a lot of fun by doing a lot of good. And in August, it's Tabletop Month here at Extra Life, and August 21st to 22nd is Tabletop Appreciation Weekend. So that's the great day for tabletop gamers. Get playing tabletop games and start getting in those pledges, because if you fundraise $150 US in August, you will unlock this set of Extra Life dice from our Gamers in Arms over at Heartbeat Dice. And frankly, I want them. So you'll find my donation link below. Last year in 2020, over 43,000 participants in 113 countries helped over 10 million kids at 170 Children's Miracle Network hospitals across Canada and the US by raising over $17.4 billion. So, if you would like to know more about Extra Life or would like to sign up yourself, go to www.extra-life.org. And again, if you'd like to help my fundraising efforts for the Alberta Children's Hospital, you can do so in the links below. Well, thanks for tuning in for tonight's longer stream of 100 Days of Gaming, Raid the Arcade. I'll be back tomorrow night at 10 with another game, or maybe I'll continue doing Ace Attorney. I really don't know yet. I'm kind of doing bits of this on the fly. Well, thanks for tuning in, and thanks for the raid and all the visitors. And remember, as always, kids can't wait. Good night, everybody.